The dam holding back 70% of Houston's water supply is sinking with both ends moving in opposite directions. In 2024, it cracked open mid-storm and triggered an official emergency. Now, scientists are saying the pattern looks identical to a dam in Libya, one that collapsed in 2023 and killed 11,000 people in a single night. The satellites had been tracking warning signs for years before it failed, but nobody acted on the data. The same satellites are now tracking Livingston Dam and noticing the pattern, but the people in charge are blaming the sinking on truck traffic. This is the story of a potential disaster and a water crisis that Texas is not ready for. In December 2025, a geophysicist named Mohammed Khorrami stood up at the annual meeting of the American Geophysical Union, which is one of the biggest gatherings of earth scientists in the world, and presented findings you are not ready for. His team at Virginia Tech had been doing something no routine dam inspection program had ever attempted at this scale. They were watching dams from space. The tool they used is called Sentinel-1, which is basically a European Space Agency radar satellite. And they had been running this analysis quietly, building up years of data before they said a word publicly. The team surveyed hydropower dams across 13 states and Puerto Rico, studying 41 structures in total. And what they found when they looked at all that data was unsettling. Every single one of the 41 dams they studied was showing some kind of movement. But Livingston stood apart from the rest. A full decade of satellite observations showed that part of the Livingston Dam was sinking. Now, here is where it starts being genuinely alarming, because it wasn't just sinking. The northern portion of the dam is sinking at about 8 millimeters per year, while the southern portion is simultaneously rising by the same amount. That is called differential settlement. And for a dam or any large civil structure holding back an enormous body of water, differential settlement is one of the most dangerous things you can possibly detect. Because when different sections of the same massive structure move in opposite directions, the stress that builds between them doesn't show up on the surface. The lake looks still, but deep inside the body of the structure, there are forces working against each other in ways that are disastrous. A second, completely independent analysis came back with the same conclusion. A London-based satellite company called Value Space identified a 350-foot section on the west side of the dam's spillway, showing what they described as significant deformation, and a similar problem on the east side, both areas sinking at a rate of 0.22 to 0.55 inches per year. But what Value Space flagged beyond the movement itself was the detail that should have set off alarm bells in every office that received their report. The rate of deformation had accelerated by 3 times between September 2023 and 2024. That is clearly a structure whose behavior is changing. And when a structure that holds back billions of gallons of water starts behaving differently than it did the year before, you start asking the hard questions. The Trinity River Authority's response? Their general manager, Kevin Ward, acknowledged the findings but pushed back on what they meant. He suggested that the movements detected by satellite could be connected to innocuous factors, such as traffic on the road that runs on top of the dam. That's dismissive to say the least, but draw your own conclusions. To really understand why the satellite data is so alarming, you need to understand what Livingston Dam is made of. Because the material this dam is built from changes everything about what those satellite readings could mean. When most people picture a dam, they picture concrete. Something solid and visible and inspectable, like the Hoover Dam or the Grand Coulee Dam. Something that looks like it was built to last forever. But Livingston Dam is not that. Livingston is an earth-filled dam with a concrete spillway. Construction started in 1966 and was finished in 1969. It stretches 2.5 miles in length, with an average depth of 55 feet. And for over 55 years, this mound of compacted earth has been holding back one of the largest reservoirs in Texas. An earth-filled dam works on a simple principle. You take enormous quantities of soil, clay, sand, and rock. You compact them together in carefully engineered layers until the density of the fill is so high that water cannot push through it. When done right, it works extremely well. There are earth-filled dams around the world that have held up for over a century. But this specific dam has one specific vulnerability that concrete dams simply do not share, and it is called piping. Here is how piping works. Water, always and everywhere, is looking for the path of least resistance. In a perfectly engineered earth-filled dam, there is no path. The material is too dense, too well compacted, and too uniform. But nothing engineered by human hands is truly perfect. And over time, through settling, through temperature changes, and the constant pressure of billions of gallons pushing against one side, tiny voids can form inside the fill, hairline weaknesses in the compacted core, and water finds them because it always does. Once water starts moving through a small channel in the fill, it carries soil particles with it. As the channel gets slightly wider, more water gets through and more material is carried away. And this process doesn't slow down. It accelerates. The bigger the channel, the more water flows. The more water flows, the faster the material is removed. It compounds on itself, getting faster, until the internal structure of the dam is so hollowed out that the whole thing collapses. And here is the part that makes it so terrifying. Unlike concrete dams that show visible cracks on the surface, internal erosion in an earth-filled dam can occur while the surface appears perfectly fine, potentially leading to failure with very little external warning. Now place that reality alongside the differential settlement the satellites are detecting. When different sections of an earth-filled dam move in opposite directions, the compacted fill between them gets stretched. And so, microfractures form in the core. The density that was supposed to make the dam impermeable starts to break down in ways that are invisible on the surface, but very real inside the structure. And those microfractures are exactly the kind of weakness where piping begins. The Virginia Tech team classified Livingston Dam as high hazard potential, meaning a failure could lead to deaths and significant property damage downstream. Now, here is where this story stops being theoretical. The Virginia Tech team had been watching Livingston's movement for years before anyone in Texas officially acknowledged a problem. They saw the data building. They saw the acceleration starting in 2023. And then, in the summer of 2024, the dam itself delivered a real-world demonstration of what that stress actually looks like when it meets extreme weather. In June 2024, record rainfall hit the dam's drainage area. The spillway was adversely impacted, and the Trinity River Authority declared a potential failure watch. Polk County Emergency Management issued statements. Crews mobilized. The dam was immediately put under 24-hour observation. And once the initial rains receded and inspectors could get close enough to see the damage, what they found was worse than the public statements suggested. The left downstream training wall had partially failed. Erosion was eating into the surrounding embankment at the base of the structure. Then inspectors moved to the stilling basin, which is the heavy concrete structure at the base of the spillway, designed specifically to absorb and dissipate the enormous force of water being released from the dam. What they found there stopped people cold. The force of the water released during the flooding had stripped away every piece of riprap, which are the large protective rocks placed around the basin to absorb impact. And underneath, where the riprap used to be, the flowing water had scoured straight through the clay fill and down to the dam's concrete apron. The engineers who filed the federal damage report stated plainly that this damage posed a direct threat to the structural integrity of the dam itself. That federal filing triggered an emergency condition declaration. Crews worked around the clock to get the damage under control. The lake level was lowered by as much as 3 feet to give workers access to the damaged sections. Divers went underwater to inspect the repair work as it progressed. The public was told that there was no immediate danger, that normal operations would continue, and that everything was being handled. In total, the Trinity River Authority has spent more than $45 million on emergency repairs to address the erosion problem. And on top of the money the TRA spent directly, Congressman Pete Sessions secured a $30 million FEMA grant to reimburse the Trinity River Authority for their repair work, citing the dam's vital role in supplying water to millions of Texans and supporting regional industry. That's over $75 million. On a dam that is also, completely separately, being detected from space as showing accelerating structural movement. And it wasn't even the first time. Hurricane Rita hit in 2005. Emergency repairs followed. Almost 2 decades later, the same dam, the same fundamental vulnerability, a bigger storm, and a bigger repair bill. The pattern is recognizable. Here is what matters most about this sequence of events. The surface repairs fix what you can see. They restore the visible, physical damage that extreme water flow caused, but they do not touch the differential settlement that satellites have been tracking for a decade. They do not explain why one end of the dam is sinking while the other rises. They do not address the internal stress building between those two sections of a compacted earth-fill structure. The emergency response and the satellite findings are two different problems operating at two completely different scales, and treating one does not treat the other. Now, Livingston Dam is not an outlier. It is a window into something much larger. In 2025, the American Society of Civil Engineers gave U.S. infrastructure a C grade overall, and that was celebrated as one of the best scores the country had ever received. Think about what that means for a moment. So, basically, the bar for success in American infrastructure has dropped so far that a mediocre grade is considered an achievement. There are nearly 92,000 dams across the United States. Some are enormous federal structures with dedicated engineering teams and generous maintenance budgets. Many more are aging earth-fill structures, built in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s during a massive wave of post-war infrastructure investment. Structures that are now 50, 60, sometimes 70 years old, operating well beyond the design lifespans their original engineers imagined. Since the 1980s, the United States has averaged 24 dam failures per year, quietly, mostly in rural areas, mostly smaller structures, mostly without making national headlines. But 24 times a year, somewhere in this country, a dam fails. And the ones that don't make the news this year are the ones that might make it next year. The deeper problem the Virginia Tech team is pointing to is a monitoring gap that has been growing for decades. Ground inspections have real and fundamental limits. A trained inspector walking the crest of a dam can identify surface erosion, visible cracking, obvious deformation in the embankment, signs of seepage at the toe. These are all important things to catch. But what no ground inspector can detect is 8 millimeters of annual subsidence distributed uniformly across a 2.5-mile structure. Movement that is real, consistent, and directional, but smaller than the width of a pencil in any given year. The only way to see that kind of movement is to watch the same structure from the same angle, with the same precision over years. That is exactly what a radar satellite does. And it is exactly what routine dam inspection programs do not do. The Virginia Tech team used the same satellite methodology as a peer-reviewed study on the catastrophic 2023 dam collapse in Libya, a disaster the same researchers later analyzed and found had detectable satellite warning signals in the data before the dam failed. That collapse killed thousands of people. The signals were there, but nobody was looking at them. That is the question that hangs over Livingston like a cloud that will not move. If the Libya Dam was broadcasting warnings from space before it killed thousands of people, and those warnings went unread, what does it mean that Livingston's warnings are being questioned rather than urgently investigated? Shirzai, one of the lead authors on the Virginia Tech study, described the satellite technology as a very affordable and accurate way of creating a priority list for which structures need the most urgent attention. So, where does all of this leave us right now? According to the National Inventory of Dams, maintained by the Army Corps of Engineers, Livingston Dam is officially classified as being in unsatisfactory condition. The Trinity River Authority says it now conducts annual safety reviews and is making additional upgrades to allow the dam to withstand more intense future floods. That is genuine progress. The FEMA money came through. The emergency repairs were completed ahead of schedule. Additional monitoring is in place. Nobody should dismiss that. But the satellite questions remain completely unanswered in public. The differential movement between the dam's north and south sections has never been publicly explained by the Trinity River Authority. The threefold increase in deformation on the spillway has not been directly addressed. The fundamental question at the heart of this entire story, whether a decade of consistent, accelerating sinking represents normal behavior in an aging earth-fill structure, or whether it represents the early stages of something much more dangerous, has not been answered, at least not publicly. 3 million people are drinking water from that reservoir today, tomorrow, every day after that. There is no backup infrastructure, and that is the actual design state of Houston's water supply system. If Livingston Dam fails, whether from a storm that overwhelms the spillway, from internal erosion that nobody caught until it was too late, from a combination of aging and pressure and weather that the original 1960s designers never modeled, there is no immediate replacement for what it provides. Drop a comment below. Do you think the satellite findings are being taken seriously enough? Or do you think the Trinity River Authority is right that this is normal settling in an aging structure? I want to know where you land.